So, we've just had two great local documentaries, and we have representatives from both films here. I'm going to start here, and if we go that way, and if you can tell the audience who you are and what your role is in each film.
Here as in here, hello. Hi, oh, I see all of differently now. Yeah, I did the second one, Collier Road and Now, and I did most of it, as in planned, filmed, edited, and produced, I guess.
Hello, I'm Max. I was actually a part of the first documentary, and I was the director, and I'm a student at Barking College.
I'm Roswyn Jones. I work at the Mirror newspaper, and we commissioned the film because we wanted to make a film about 100 years of the Becontree estate.
I'm Scott Bradley from Northern High Films, and I produced Becontree, collaborating with the Mirror and Barking and Dagenham College.
Okay, so I'm going to start at that end. Who wants to tell us how this project began and how you worked around bringing in students to make the film?
Yeah, I can start. So the origins of this film came from quite a long time ago. The MP for Barking and Dagenham, John Cruddas, who'd written a book, he's writing a book at the moment about the Becontree area. And we were talking about a film that he'd watched by a Polish director, a famous film called Talking Heads. And he'd said, why does nobody make a film like that about the Becontree or about estates in Britain? Like, no one seems to ask people, what do they want? You know, what do they want out of life? They're just, you know, people are not seen as human beings who've got hopes and dreams and aspirations. So we talked about a film like that. I run at the Mirror a strand called Britain Talks, where we try to listen to kind of unheard voices, and we thought this could be a kind of, you know, a good project for us. So first of all, I spoke to Northern Heart Films, Scott and Natasha, who are here today. We've worked with them a lot on projects like the Wigan Pier project, where we retraced George Orwell's steps around the north of England. But of course, like, these guys are northern, I live in London, so we wanted to engage the community on the ground, and we thought that a partnership with Barking and Dagenham College could be a really interesting way to do that. John Cruddas had told us that there was a new film course at Barking and Dagenham College, and that maybe it could be a good opportunity for the students. And we thought if the students put forward people that they knew in the community and were seeing it from their eyes up, then we could avoid making a kind of, you know, peering in type film, which was something we tried to do with the Wigan Pier project before, to ask people from the grassroots up to reflect on their community rather than us doing it. So we've got these guys involved, and I'm so glad that we did, because it's just been an amazing partnership. The students have really stepped up. If you think most of them were just in their very first module as film students, and so much of that stuff has been shot by them, and, you know, amazing help from David, who's the lecturer there. Yeah, so thanks to everyone who's involved, really.
So, was this your first directorial effort?
Well, I just came into the course, and it was like the first thing we got given as like our first project. So yeah, when we first got told it, we was kind of just like, well, this is a lot, and then we kind of just like had to bear with it and go into it with open arms, and I feel like we did that pretty well. So yeah.
And it's quite an ambitious project to walk in as a first-time director. Did you feel a level of fear?
Yeah, at the start I was a bit, yeah, but then as we started doing it, and we was like gaining more confidence on set, and after every single interview we had more confidence, we knew how to set up more easily and what was like the best way of getting everything in order, so the interview could run as smoothly as it can. And yeah, I feel like we did that pretty well towards the end, and our skills was just developing as each interview went by. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's come to Oona. So I've mispronounced it, haven't I?
Perfectly fine. I respond to anything.
You're a bit like me. So talk to us about your project, how it came to be, how you got involved with Behavioural Changing.
Yes, it was what you find on the opportunity in dictionary. This was filmed last year when pandemic was still a thing, everyone was confused, people didn't see each other much, and on top of that, the previous year I lost my job and we relocated close to London. So I was like, cool. I'm starting freelancing. And I started freelancing and pretty much started to be proactive and try to find opportunities. And I came across Behavioural Changing, which is a local organization who's getting involved with community projects, and they were doing big schools, summer big school. Hello, Behavioural Changing. And I applied. They were looking for projects and proposals of artists to engage the community in some sort of way. And looking at it, I was like, right, so they want some circus people and probably, some dancers and stuff like that. So not the usual proposal, I guess, that comes to these sorts of organizations. But I was like, let's try to do some video. Let's get the businesses out there. Let's get the people talking. And especially now when they haven't seen faces in so long. And they like the idea. They like the engagement aspect of it. They like the historical aspect of it. Trying to do a mix and match. And it's not normal, I guess. It was a one-man team project, so I was mad.
And how did you find the people of Collier Row?
They were very welcoming. I don't know if it was after the pandemic and they just when somebody told me. I just went in with the camera in their face and they were strangely confident about it.
Excellent. When did Northern Heart Films become involved in the project?
Quite early, really, wasn't it? So we've, like Ross said, we've been sort of collaborating for like the past sort of six years even. Because we're based up north, we really wanted to kind of get like some authentic voices working on the production. So that's why we were so excited about working with the students. So what me and Natasha did was sort of develop a creative brief and basically just provided that to the students and gave them guidance. So we came down for the day, didn't we? And just kind of went through our ideas, looked at contributors and kind of guided them for the day, then sort of took our hands off and just let them get on with it and just provided feedback when they sent the rushes over to us. So it was just, we were there from the beginning. Natasha edited the film. But yeah, it's just been a really collaborative project, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been.
I think it's been really successful.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the other thing I was going to say was the reason it's all shot outside was because, of course, we were doing it during COVID.
Yeah.
So that lent a whole new...
I think that was good as well because you could actually see the streets and the aesthetic of Becontree.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it really added to it.
So, being as we've got a nice full audience, it would be wrong of me not to get them to ask us questions. Have we got some questions out there? We've got a roving mic here. Go on, shove your hand up in the air. Don't be scared.
So, as an aspiring creative myself, well done. That was great documentaries. I love watching them. My question is, say money was no object, and you had to do that documentary again. What do you think you would do different? Like in that case of filming, maybe like who would you get in it if you could? Get a little celebrity cameo in there. Yeah, what would you do different? Say money was no object.
We'll ask that to both of our directors, I think.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Oh.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I think it would be cool to get some famous names from Becontree in the film, like maybe the mayor or something could be quite cool to get a different perspective of something. And apart from that, I'm not too sure. He was using a black magic camera and a lapel microphone. They were the main two sources of equipment that we used. And I think if money was not an object, I think definitely maybe I'm not too sure. Maybe ask more famous names or get in contact with more people. Yeah.
For me, I think what was interesting for this project was especially that it was an exploring journey. starting from me not being from the area and trying to see what it is going to people's houses and just like making them talk. That was huge. But if money was an object, I would like it in probably. So I would like to see more camera angles other than me shaking it on the big screen. And I would like a bit of conflict because there were many people, many places I couldn't get in. They were just like, I would come in the morning and then I would come at lunch and then I would come in the evening and they would like, come tomorrow please. I'm like, I would go in tomorrow. They'd be like, no, actually I don't want to do this. I was like, it would be great if you told me yesterday. So I would like to find a way to make them talk, just saying it out loud how much they dislike me there, or like, I would like some conflict. Right next to the Mr. B's candy shop, it's a Lidl or an Aldi shop. He used to work there before. That would be a very interesting perspective from that manager to say, oh, you know, my competition is now next door. Right? Something like that.
I would like to ask both filmmakers, seeing that you've had to deal with a lot of the local people and that you didn't presumably know before, what were the biggest challenges you've encountered in filming these two projects?
I think there's a few times where there was one time when we was filming someone and he got a bit camera shy, and I think he was like partially deaf, so that really threw off the interview and he got quite frustrated and actually walked off the set. So that was like a big learning curve for us to like maybe be more careful answering questions and maybe ask questions in a style that can cater to their answers, so that it's more like smoother. So I think I think maybe just being more I don't know how to say it, like understanding more people like better. If we did that from the start, it would have been much smoother and we would have got more better and more in-depth answers. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, probably about the same, just rather than doing there and now on the day. Some people might have liked to plan it more in advance, so like, I don't know if I would have get more no's in that case, I don't know, but you know, I would have liked to get them the chance to talk. Even so.
This is for both filmmakers as well. Was there someone who was the most interesting or surprising that you interviewed?
You put me in trouble here. Most of the people who are in the film are here now. No, go first. You, I guess.
I'll go first. I think everyone was quite interesting and unique in their own way. I know that's kind of like a stereotypical answer, but it's true. Like no one that we spoke to was like quite rude or abrupt. Everyone was like quite nice, and everyone had their own story to tell. So yeah, I think everyone added to the documentary as well, equally to each other, for sure.
All right, I'll be nice. I'll behave. I think there were more heartwarming stories than I thought I would get. I thought I would get a lot of practical questions and answers, and just, I don't know, putting me on the side. Oh, you know, Collier. I've been here all my life, nothing much. There's a shop, I have a cat. But there were many, they welcoming me in, and they tried to put something on the table, and I think that was very important. They really believed in the project in that sense when the camera was on, and put their hearts on the table, and I tried to think of their personal stories and their memories, and you know, made this place special. There's a saying in Romanian when you go something like, people bless the place, which means you do your part in like making your home homely, or like you make the place better, not the other way around, which I think was the case here. Thank you so much for getting me involved.
Just a quick one. Based on the amount of footage you obtained, how difficult was it for you to both decide exactly what was going to go into the films?
Well, I actually didn't edit the film. The people at Northern Heart edited the film, so yeah. So we was just getting the footage for them. So yeah, they were actually editors of the film. So
Yeah, so yeah, the process was that the students were sort of directing the interviews and collecting the footage that way, and then we, in our sort of studio, would put the film together. Yeah, I mean, there was quite a lot of footage, and we even spent a day down in Becontree yourselves doing some filming. So yeah, we did have quite a lot of footage. Yeah, how many hours did we get? Maybe
yeah, we got
3, 4, 5 hours potentially.
yeah, a lot of footage. Yeah, and I think it definitely gave us a lot of variety.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
Thank you, great work, thank you, we love the films. How can we now, what happens next? How can the films get more exposure? How can we share them with our friends? Where would they be? Will they be available anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, our film's going to be available on the Mirror site. We're doing a big article about it in Saturday's Mirror. It'll be on our Twitter feeds and basically on all our social media. So please do watch it and share it, and yeah, get a good name out there for the Becontree.
Yeah, and I like this question. I'll put it on my Instagram there. I like all the channels and my website, and probably going on changing website as well. If you were in the film or somewhere you knew was in this film, would just better to get in touch and we'll distribute that to you.
I think the wonderful thing about both films is that they really captured the sense of humour of the areas. So both of you, fantastic jobs, and I think, you know, to capture that, and especially in both, you know, both of your films are quite concise, so to be able to show all aspects is really, really clever. If you can open up the door to what's going to happen for both of you next, kind of themed in with a question you had earlier, what would you do next? So forgetting remaking it or readjusting it, what film would you like to make next? And that's to both of you.
I would say I'm fairly new to the festival circuit, and I enjoyed a few before last month, and I want to go into short narratives next. I know they don't sell, like a future would be smarter, but yeah, I'm trying to do some short narrative next and putting down the plot, and stay tuned.
I think for me, I would definitely like to get into music documentaries and kind of capturing the musicians' lifestyles and their time in their rehearsal studios and their environment. Because I'm very interested in music and filmmaking, so I think they coincide very well. So yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, if you know any other organizations in London that needs work done, Having Janie, thank you so much.
I think one of the wonderful things about both of these films is that you've had an organisation that has been behind you, who has helped and supported you. So yeah, thank you for those sort of organisations that will actually do that. So, you know, locally, Havering Changing, the Mirror, thank you very much, because this is so important to help not just tell a story, but to help bring young filmmakers up this ladder. And what fantastic opportunities for both the filmmakers to have been projected in such a way. I think the only thing that is left is if we can give a massive round of applause to